So, hello friends. Today I've come up with a very interesting video and very interesting live session on handling your section A and B in the PM exam. I have seen many students who are getting stuck in their 30 to 40 out of 60 when they are handling their section A and B. Some places they get their theory questions wrong. Some places you're getting your multiple, the questions that requires you to select the multiple options, right? There I find students getting wrong, or it's a true, false, or correct, incorrect questions, and many times the calculation question also. So today I've come up with the mock debrief for your pre-September mock debrief for your September exams that is released by ACCA, and we are focusing on section A and B only today so that we will try to maximize the scores that otherwise you guys are losing out of 60. See, section A and B determines the success in the exam for a PM student. Over the years, I have seen that students who don't pass the exam or who are failing the exams, when you see your performance, MEP, my exam performance report, what do you find over there? That you have lost substantial marks in section B or in section A. More than section C, it's section A and B for a PM student that determine their success. So it is very important for you to ensure that you have the hold on that topic. You have the hold on it. So this is the reason why I have come up with the live session today, so that we do these questions together, and I will be solving it and guiding you how to do these questions section A and B with utmost confidence and the correct strategy. Okay, for today's session, as always, I need the calculator, pen and paper. Always, because section A and B are not to be done on Excel, so we will do it with calculator and a pen and paper. Clear? I'm sure everybody is now with me. So what is the first step that you have to do? Good morning Sagar, and I hope that I'm audible, Sagar, before we proceed to the video. So Sagar, I hope I'm audible and my video is visible. Just confirm me once. Right, so I hope everything is perfectly visible to everybody. Okay, that's great. So now I'm going to be beginning. Yes, so I will just share my screen. Yes. Okay. I'm sure everybody is able to have a look at it. Yes. Okay. Now, everybody, I want you all to be on the same screen with me in case if you want to be with me, parallelly solving it, or else just focus on my screen. Now, this is your ACCA, my ACCA portal through which I have logged on to my ACCA platform. And then, I am on my portal where I've selected, I have chosen September 2026 because, of course, we are looking into the September 2026 exam. And after that, I am going to select my pre-September 2026 mock exam that I've already assigned. And now I am going to be I'm going to be choosing that paper and starting. Okay, so let's be with me. Now, I'm going to select start and I will start the exam. All of you can also do the same thing. Now I'm starting with, and we are going to do back to back section A and section B questions. So it is getting started. Sometimes takes some more time. Okay, I don't know why it has got stuck, but just give me a second. I will just correct. I will just make sure that it gets freed. Okay, so we are on the screen. Yes, so I'm sure now everybody is able to look at the screen. Now here, be with me. I am selecting next. Of course, these are the instructions that ideally you should be reading before the exams. So make sure that you're reading them well in time and before the exams. Now I'm selecting next, 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 and I am on the exam. And the questions are compulsory. So let's start doing them. First question, and first we are doing section A. Now, the first question. The following statements have been made about ERP systems. Okay, now first point, the implementing an ERP system, it may reduce an organization's cost but will likely result in more manual work. Second, a customer relationship management system, CRMS, uses an ERP module to capture, analyze, distribute relevant customer information within an organization. Which of the statements are correct? Okay, so this is the question put up, that which of the statements are correct. Now, first thing is, let's look at the first statement and see whether it's correct or not. Now here if you see, implementing an ERP system will reduce an organization's cost. Contrary to it, we have always studied that it increases the organization cost, correct? Because it is an expensive system. So first statement goes wrong. Second, a CRMS system uses an ERP to module to capture, analyze and distribute relevant customer information within an organization. No, CRMS will never be used to capture or distribute or analyze the relevant confirmation system, the relevant customer system information within an organization. It's an external system, right? So within an organization also goes wrong. Hence both the statements are wrong. So I will select neither 1 and 2, and I will go to the next one. What do we observe here when we are doing the questions, the theory questions in PM? Guys, it's very simple. PM will always have either one word generally which is wrong or one or two words which are wrong. Entire statement is generally never wrong. So what you have to see is you have to find out that one word or two words that you feel like, okay, this I'm not read, okay, or this I know it is not like that from what I have done the reading. So trusting your abilities, then you select it, okay. And also I always say, always select the obvious wrong answer and the obvious right answer first. It helps you to eliminate the chances of, to eliminate the chances of having a confusion. Now let's go to the next one. A company produces a single product which requires direct labor. The standard cost card shows that 2 hours of labor are required per unit at a rate of 15 per hour. When the budget for the current period was produced, the accountant did not know that the production process had been improved, reducing the labor time required per unit by 10%. That means now there will be a revision, right? So as per the revision, we will take the existing time multiplied with 90%. Why? Because 10% time is reduced. So then the labor is working at 90%. The change was not reflected in the cost card, which is the budgeted cost card. While the company budgeted to produce 1000 units, it actually produced 1200 units. A total of 2500 labor hours were worked during the period. The company holds very little inventory. What is operational labor efficiency variance? Operational labor efficiency. So labor efficiency, first remember the basic variance. So labor efficiency measures for doing the actual, for producing the actual units, what is as per the standard we require the time to be put in. Okay, so as per the standard, how much hours should be put in by the labor to produce the actual units, not the budgeted units. And then we compare it with actual hours, get the difference multiplied with standard cost of labor. Same formula here, but since it is an operational variance, we will do a comparison between revised budgeted figures and actuals. So instead of taking original budgeted figures, we will take revised budgeted figures. Okay, now let's do the calculation. Just confirm me, people. Are you able to have a clear view of the question? Just confirm me, please. And we'll start to solve it then. Okay, so now I'm doing this question number 2. Okay, now what data? This is like my rough paper that I have. Okay, this is my rough paper that I have. So now here the question tells me that the original budget said, as per the original budget, 1 unit will require 2 hours, but now it will be reduced by 90%, correct? Right, so let's do that calculation. So as per the original budget, it will be 2 hours per unit. And as per the revised budget, it will be 1.8 hours per unit. How do I get this? 2 into 90%. Because there is a 10% reduction in the labor time, correct? So now 1.8 hours per unit. This I will multiply with the actual units, right? Because when we calculate the efficiency variance, we always check it to calculate to produce the actual units, which is 1200 units. I'll just confirm it. right? So this is 1200 units given here, right? And actual labor hours are 2500 and the standard labor cost is 15. So now as per the revised figures, what is the revised budgeted cost or revised budgeted hours? 1.8 multiplied by 1200, which is 2160. Only 2160. Just a minute. Okay, 2160 hours. And actual hours are 2500. Right? So what is the variance? We will reduce it, and of course it's an adverse variance because actually you are taking more time. Okay, now you multiply it with standard cost per hour, which is given to you 15. So the variance will be 340 into 15, which is 5100 adverse. Okay, so now we have an adverse variance of 5100. I hope all of you are with me. Now let's select that answer, which is here 5100 adverse variance. Right? If you have any questions, confusions, put it in the chat box. Okay, let's move on to the next one then. This is the next question that says, now here please see, we have to select multiple options, and only when you get all these 4 options correct, you will get 2 on 2. Otherwise, you will not get 2 on 2. Okay, so we need to get all of these correct. Right? Okay, can you just put it in the chat box, people? My video, my audio are visible and you are able to follow what we are doing. And anybody who is solving it with me, also put it in the chat box. Okay, now here, a furniture retailer is reviewing its sustainable strategy. So it is on sustainability. Classify each of the following initiatives under the appropriate perspectives. Okay, so now let's look at the different perspectives. Number 1 is value creation. Value creation is where you create the values. Okay, where you add value for the organization. Stakeholder is the one who has got interest in the in that organization. For example, megatrends. Megatrend is a term that we use that reflects the external trends and regulations of the government. Okay, so external, everything is external is megatrend. Then customer, it is the final end user. So now let's look at every line item and see whether it's a value, it's adding to value creation, or is a mega trend, or is meeting the stakeholders objectives, or a customer centric objective. First, investing in renewable energy to reduce long-term cost. I think it's very clear it's a value creation. Why? Because when you're doing the investments, you're earning returns and you're reducing costs, so leading to the profit. So it's adding value for the organization. So it is a value creation. Very simple. Responding to stricter environmental regulations, rules, external data, external trends, mega trend. So it is a mega trend. Clear? Now third one, offering eco-labeled products to meet changing preferences. So who's changing preferences? Customers. Customers are the ones that will be interested in getting these eco-friendly products. So customer. Engaging with local communities on sourcing policies. So local communities are the stakeholders, because we have the public, which is a prominent stakeholder, right? So here my public will be the stakeholder. Oh, I'm so sorry. It will be here. Okay, only when you get these 4 options correct, you will get 2 on 2. Even if you get 3 correct and 1 wrong, you will get 0. So this is one of those key areas where my students can falter. Now, how to ensure that you score well? Look at the keywords. The first keyword I took was investing, that I related with value. Second keyword I related with regulations, that I related with mega trends. Third, preferences and eco-friendly products. Who is more interested? Customer, I linked it with him. And fourth, community as a large, public at a large, government at large are the stakeholders. Always look for the keywords, and that will help you solve the theory questions at utmost comfort. Okay, now let's move on. So I am at the next question now, and that is, a company is planning to launch, and that is a question on perfect information. The question says, what is the value of perfect information? Now, in the back of my mind, I know we have to take the expected value with perfect data and expected value with imperfect data, get the difference, and that is the value of perfect information. Okay, now let's do the calculation. A company is planning to launch a new product that will be selected from two product choices, product A and B. People always devote 5 seconds extra on reading a question because your answering ability is there in the question itself. So if you read the question properly, you will never have problems in solving any question. Okay. Now, so company is planning to launch a new product that will be selected from two product choices A and B. The marketing manager has provided the following estimates that is based on the three possible market conditions. Market conditions can be poor, medium or good, and the two products are A and B. Okay, and the detail are given to you. The probability of the three market conditions of poor, medium, good are 15%, 45% and 40% respectively. Again given to you here. The manager correctly calculated the expected values of each option as 1595 000 and 2232 500 respectively. Now what is this figure that the manager correctly calculated for each option? This is the figure of expected value with imperfect information, because how do we calculate normal expected value? For every product I will calculate the figure, then we will compare the two products total expected value and we will choose the one that is giving you the highest expected value, right? So there I'm not going with the perfect selection at each of the market scenarios. So hence it is the expected value of imperfect information. Now which one you will choose, A or B? B. Why? Because B is giving you highest value here, 2232 500. Now, how do we calculate the expected value of perfect information? For that, please look at my screen and I am doing it. So, I will just take you here. So, now here we are doing the question. Right. So, here I am doing the question number, what is it? I think fourth. Right. So, first I will have expected value of perfect information, or expected value with perfect information. So I'll have three scenarios. It is poor, then it is poor, medium, good. In poor, I will go with the product A because it is giving me the lower loss, 800. Poor, medium, good. Here I will go with 800 and the probability is 15%. Then it is 45%. I think it is 40. I will validate it. Here we will take 2250. Why? Because if you observe here the figures are in thousands. I'll increase it by 1000. Okay. In perfect information, we always select the best option out of the two. So here the best option out of the two is 2250 for medium. For good, it is 3800 and the probability is same. Okay. Take the figures in thousands. Okay, now you have taken it, so get the figures here and get the total, and from this I will reduce expected value of imperfect information, and then I will get value of perfect information. Okay, let's do the calculations. So 800 into 15% is 120. 120,000. Okay, then we have 2250 multiplied by 0.45. It is 1012500. And then we have 38000 multiplied by 40%. I have here 1520000. I've got the figures. Now please write the answer here. So you add it, this plus 1012500 less 120,000. I get here 2412,500. Right? Now what is the value with imperfect information? Let's look at the question and just find it. So the value with imperfect information, I will take the highest of the two, right? That is how we take, either we take product A or we go with product B. So highest of the two, which is here 2232,500. 2232,500. Okay. Now you reduce it. So 2412,500 less 2232,500, I get here 180,000. So my value of perfect information is 180,000. That means only when you have 180,000 you can spend, and basically it means that only if you're able to get the benefits beyond 180,000, then it makes sense to go for the perfect information. Okay, now so let's select the answer 180,000, which is option number A. Done? You have any questions anywhere and you want to share your answers as well with me, then please put it in the chat box and let's do it together. Now let's go on to the next one. So quickly, a company reports annual revenue of 1500,000 and its gross profit margin is 40% and an operating profit margin is 16%. The company's statement of financial position, it shows total assets of 1100,000 and current liabilities of 300,000. What is company's ROCE, return on capital employed? That's pretty simple. How do we take? We will take EBITDA, that is earnings before interest and tax, and we will divide it by the capital employed to get the return on capital employed, right? So let's do it this way. You have the revenue given to you. You have the margin also available with you, multiplied and get the earnings before interest and tax, that is operating profit. You have got the capital employed details. So that's pretty simple question. Let's do it here. I can do it on calculator also, even without writing. My EBITDA will be 1500 into 16%, which is 240, right? I'm just ignoring the figures in thousands, just taking figures, all figures in thousands. It will give you the same answer. So 1500 into 16% gives me 240. What is capital employed? Total assets less current liabilities, right? The basic formula that we have been following always. So total assets are 1100 less current liabilities are 300. 11 minus 3 is 800, correct? Now just take the fraction and you get your answer. So 240 divided by 800 multiplied by 100, I get 30%. So my answer here is, I will type it here, 30%. Easy? I think one of the most easiest answers. So yes, in your PM exam as well, you will always have a mix of easy answers as well as difficult answers. Okay, so difficult questions, but never be troubled. You will always be able to solve them in 2 minutes, in just 2 minutes. Okay, so let's go to the next one. And see here, my questions, it said that your answer is not meeting with the format because the requirement here is still 2 decimal places. So I have to write 2 decimals. Okay, now let's take the next one. So here it is. Identify whether each of the following statements regarding ABB are correct or not. Now, I have seen students who get confused between ABB and ABC. See, one is a costing method and another is just an extension of it and applying to the entire budget. But when you're doing questions relating to ABB or ABC, your concept will remain same for the cost drivers, for the activities, for the cost pools. I mean, the same concepts that you apply to ABC will apply to ABB. Nothing out of the way. Okay. So make sure that you are not getting confused for the same. Okay. Now let's go forward. Let's discuss them. So ABB begins by estimating the required level of activities before determining the resource requirement. I think the same is the concept with ABC, so it is correct. ABB assumes that all costs vary directly with production volume. Wrong. ABC also says they don't take the cost to be varying with production volume. We say that the cost will vary as per the activity levels. Correct? So here it is incorrect. ABB uses cost drivers to estimate the resources required to support planned activity levels. Cost drivers is the base point for ABB and ABC both. Correct. I'm always looking for the keywords, and you also have to look for keywords in the exam. Always. ABB uses decision packages to rank activities. Stop. Decision packages and ranking activities is a part of ZBB, right? Not ABB. These two keywords tell me this point is wrong. This is how you are also going to get the answers done in your exam. Only when you get all these 4 points correct, you will get 2 on 2. Okay, let's go to the next one. Division Camp of Baja Company had the following balances in their year-end financial statements. Sales, operating profit, non-current assets, current liabilities, all details are given to you. What are you going to calculate? Controllable ROCE. Controllable ROCE means you have to calculate controllable profit divided by controllable capital employed. Okay, remove the head office expenses, remove all these expenses that are not there in your control. Simply we do this logic. Now, included in operating costs, which is used to calculate operating profit and which is used to calculate ROCE. So all these are related. 495,000 of head office expenses are recharged to camp. Okay, that means the head office expenses are allocated to this. So since it is a controllable profit that we have to calculate, we will add back the head office expenses, right? So that we are getting the controllable profit. Let's start. So my operating profit is 1520, correct? On 1520, we will add back 495, figures in thousands. 65% of depreciation charge of 950,000 was for assets which are controlled but not owned by the head office. Since they are controlled by head office, I will not take them as well. So 60% of 950 also we will add back, 65% of 950. So let's do it here. How will you get the answer here? So here I will take controllable operating profit. This is question number 7. Okay, so this I will calculate as 1520 is the operating profit. With this we have added back head office expenses of 495, and with this I will add back 65% of the depreciation was, so sorry, just have to look again. The depreciation was 950. Okay, so 65% of 950, that is on account of depreciation on the assets which are controlled by head office. Okay, now let's calculate. So 65% of 950 is 617.5. So I will have 1520 plus 495 plus 617.5. That will give me approximately 495. You will add here 1520 plus 495 plus 617.5, which is 2632.5. Okay, 2632.5. Now what is your capital employed? Now let's have a look at the question. So capital employed is always non-current assets plus current assets less current liabilities, right? Total assets less current liabilities. Always, we have been following this concept. So let's follow it. Total non-current assets are 14,200 here. Current liabilities are 4120 less, current assets are 4120 less current liabilities are 1340. So I get here 16980, right? 16980 is my capital employed. Now let's quickly do the ROCE. There was nothing extra entry given for capital employed, so not considered. So ROCE will be 2632.5 divided by 16980 multiplied by 100, right? So we here getting 15.5%, 15.50% if it is approximately till 2 decimal places, right? All of you are with me, friends? Any questions, any queries, feel free to ask me. But it's a very simple question. So 15.5, we have an option here. I will select it and we are done. In less than 1 minute, we are doing these questions. So just get the keywords and the key calculations. Nothing else you need to really look into. Let's go to the next one. So the following statements have been made about a company's data, which is given to you here. So that is structured data, while not laid out in columns and rows, has label and identifiers that enable searching. This is wrong because structured data is always the one which is more organized and which is laid down in tables, in spreadsheets, in tables and columns. So first one is straight away wrong because of the word not laid down given. Again, my keyword here is not laid down. Next is examples of unstructured data include social media posts, discussions from a company's customer service chat history. Absolutely. It's all unstructured we have read. So which is the statement which is correct? Only second. Only second. Okay? Yes. 30 seconds question. Save time where you can so that you can utilize this time to that part where you don't have much time left. Okay, now let's do this. So here it is, a company is planning to launch a new product with an expected selling price of 72. I think it's a target costing because launching a product with a price, target costing generally. The company requires a markup of 20% on cost. So 20% on cost means 25% or what? 1 by 5 on cost. So accordingly 1 by 6 on sales. We add 1. So on this you will have 1 by 6 on sale. Okay. Now the direct material required for each unit is expected to cost 18 before allowing for wastage. So if it is, that means this is before allowing for wastage, you have to increase it so that you include the wastage amount also, right? Due to production losses, 25% is lost. So this is, and this thinking, 18 will represent 75%. So what will be 100%, right? Because this, in this, the wastage is already there. So we need to take the figure. We need to take how much input is needed considering the wastage also, right? So because we need the total cost. Now, labor is the only other cost and each unit requires 3 hours of labor. What is the maximum labor rate per hour that can be paid if the required markup is to be achieved? So that is like a backward approach now you have to solve. The first step, not exactly target cost, but here first step, get the cost, then from cost reduce the market material cost, get the labor cost, divide it by the 3, that is 1 unit requires 3 hours of labor, so that you can get labor cost per hour, because very important question has asked you labor rate per hour. Okay, so first step, get the cost. I think it's pretty easy. Here let's get the cost. Now here, so your selling price is given to you here 72, and there is a 20% on cost and 18 is the material cost before 25%. Okay, we have all the data. Let's do it. So selling price is 72, and you have to get the cost. So this is after adding the margin, right? So you can say that cost plus 20% gives you selling price of the selling price. So simply you will, this is selling price is 120%, right? 100% cost, 20% markup, so selling price is 120%. You divide it by 120% and you will get the cost. So cost will be equal to 72 divided by 120%. Cost is 60. Now from 60 you reduce your material cost. Material cost will be 18 is the figure before, it's like after the losses have been considered. I want the cost before loss so that I can get the proper and the correct labor cost. So you divide this by 75%, right? So here I get material cost as 18 divided by 75%, 24. So what is the labor cost? That is my balancing figure. 36, 60 minus 24 is 36, labor cost. Now we need the cost per hour. So per hour is, for getting per hour you need to divide by 3 because 1 unit requires 3 hours. So per hour, this is per unit, and labor cost per hour will be 36 divided by 3, which is 12. Okay, so my answer would be here 12. So I have to type in here up to 2 decimal places, which is 12.00. Done? Let's go to the next one. So it was a simple calculation. That's all. Okay, now let's move on to the next one, and we have the next question on the screen. The next question says, Arya company produces 2 products with the following cost. Product X and product Y. Direct material cost, labor cost, variable overhead are all given to you. I'm not reading it because first I have to see the requirement of the question. So let's look at the requirement. Requirement says if X and Y being the units produced and sold for product X and Y, identify, so these are the variables, okay? Identify whether each of the following statements relating to the objective function and the constraints are correct or not. Okay, so we have to see whether the objective functions and the constraints, they are correct or not, the equations which have been given. Selling price are 45 and 37. Next month, material will be limited to 3750 kg and labor will be limited to 3000 hours. A linear programming model has been created to find the optimal production plan. So now let's look at each statement and validate it's correct or not. First, objective function is given as 34.25x plus 23.5y. To validate it, I have to calculate contribution per unit because objective function is determined by contribution per unit, right? We have product X data given to us. Let's calculate the contribution. Selling price is 45 mentioned here. Less variable cost is 12.5. Less the labor cost is 18. And less your variable overhead is 3.75. I am getting here 10.75 as the contribution, but here objective function says 34.25, which I am sure is the variable cost. Because when I reduce 10.75 from 45, I am getting 34.25, which shows it is a variable cost, which is wrong. So this is incorrect, right? Only one calculation told me it is incorrect or correct. Great. Now let's go to the next one. So now I'm looking at the next one, and the next one is material. So material, it says 2.5x plus 1.5y is less than equal to 3750. 3750 is correct because the kgs are given correct. But let's validate one figure. See, product X material cost is 18 and product X material cost is 12.5 and material cost per kg is 5. So you divide this and you will get the number of kgs. So 12.5 divided by 5 gives me 2.5, which is matching here. So even if I'm not, checking the next one, I'm sure it is matching. So therefore it is correct. Third one, labor. It says it is less than equal to 3000. 3000 hours are matching here, but let's verify the figure here. For labor product X, it is showing 18, which is wrong. 18 is the cost. I need the labor hours. So labor hours are 18 divided by 9, which is 2 hours. So therefore this statement is wrong. Okay, just see how quickly we are able to solve it because I'm looking for keywords. So like I am telling you, always make sure that you are also looking for the correct keywords. Let's go to the next one. Indicate whether each of the following statements about the use of big data, they are correct or incorrect in a large supermarket. Okay? No. First, big data will improve demand forecasting by using both historical data as well as external data. Yes, big data use every data, so this is correct. Now, it reduces the need for managerial judgment when making pricing and inventory decisions. False. No decision making system or no ERP systems, no analytics can ever reduce the need for decision making. It's a subjective decision making and which has to be done by the management. So no information system can take that need away. Okay? Or no methodologies can take that need away. It enables the supermarket to adjust prices in response to change in demand. Absolutely correct. This is what happens when you go to Amazon, you select a product, you like that product, and if the product demand is surging, they change the demand instantly, right? So this is always a key factor. It ensures that all relevant data is used in decision making. Wrong. If no system can always ensure 100% of the data can be used in decision making. Okay, so all is the keyword that goes wrong here. Correct? Done. We are done with this. Let's move to the next one. Now, Zola company manufactures smartphones components. The industry is highly competitive and their products have short life cycles and the technology is constantly improving. Okay. Now here it is. Zola company is basically manufacturing smartphone components. Their industry is competitive. These are very important keywords. The products have short life cycles and the technology is constantly improving. Zola company would benefit from standard costing as it would ensure that input costs are kept in line with market conditions. No, standard costing will never keep in line with market conditions because standard costing is an internal costing system. It will never consider external factors. So what was the keyword that went wrong here? In line with market conditions. Right? So this is what is making this statement wrong. I will write false here. Next, just-in-time systems would be of little use to Zola because it needs high buffer stock levels to avoid stockouts in the competitive industry. If you read here, the industry is very competitive and the products have very short life cycle and the technology is improving. And since they are manufacturing the components, if they keep too much of an inventory, it will become obsolete very quickly. So it is wrong. Zoya should ideally have a JIT system in place that would make sure that the components, are not getting obsolete and they're not getting wasted. Good. So this is wrong. What was wrong here? That high buffer stock levels. Right? So this is what is making this statement wrong. You have to always look for keywords in section A and B questions in PM. That would make your life easier and very convenient for you to score very high marks in PM. Now, going to the next one. Everybody, friends, look at my screen. Benchmarking would be a useful performance management tool as they will be taking other practices and industry trends into account. For a competitive industry, benchmarking is always an advisable tool. So it is correct. You get all three correct, you get 2 on 2. You get even 1 wrong, you get 0. Let's go to the next one. So we are approaching towards the end of section A questions. Now, an automotive repair company has set a new repair service price at 49.95. New repair service price is 49.95. Okay, this is the price that they have set. This new service is estimated to use 10.5 of direct material and 0.75 labor hours with an hourly rate of 36. The management accountant has calculated that there is a cost cap based on a target cost of 35.2. So with the calculations, we have to calculate the actual cost. Target cost is given to you, calculate the cost gap. What is the percentage reduction in labor hours? What percentage reduction in labor hours is needed to close the cost gap? So what is the requirement of the question? First, you have to identify the cost gap, and then you have to calculate what percentage reduction will be needed to close the cost gap. Okay, so let's do it here. So we need to do it in the rough page that we are doing the questions on. Okay, so the new repair price is 49.95. 10.5 is the labor cost. 0.75 multiplied by 36 will be the labor cost. Okay, so let's calculate here. So the selling, I will write here cost. So your actual cost will be selling price less, but I don't need selling price right now. I just need the cost. So actual cost will be material cost plus labor cost. Correct? Material cost is given to you 10.5 and labor cost is 0.75 hours multiplied by 36. Right? So my cost will be equal to 36 multiplied by 0.75 plus 10.5, which is 37.5. Right? What is the target cost? Target cost was, I think, 35.2. Yeah, target cost is 35.2. So what is cost gap? Take the difference between the two. 37.5 less 35.2, which will be equal to just a minute, 37.5 less 35.2, which is equal to 2.3. Right? 2.3 is the cost gap. Now, question is not ending here. It is asking you to calculate the percentage with respect to labor cost, right? So it's very simple. You will calculate the percentage with respect to the labor cost. Labor cost was 27, right? So here my percentage will be equal to 2.3 divided by 27 multiplied by 100. And that will be equal to 2.3 divided by 27 multiplied by 100, 8.5%. Right? 8.5%. Let's do it here. So the question I'm reading again, it says what percentage reduction in labor hours is required to close the cost gap. So what I have done, I've just taken the multiplication on the labor cost, and then I know that if I reduce my labor cost by 8.5%, I will be able to close the cost gap, right? It's only a matter of 8.5%. So I will write here, question says to 1 decimal place, so I will just write till 8.5%. Done. Let's move on to the next one. So question number 14th, let's discuss. If you have any questions and queries, I'm sure if you have, you will be putting up in the chat box. So if you have anything, please put up in the chat box. Okay, let's select now. A city police department is under pressure to improve its performance rating. City police department, kind of a, the financial performance or the performance measures for the not-for-profit organization, right? So this point should also be clicking in your way. So that means, yes, here I can see the headings here, 3 E's, economy, efficiency and effectiveness. So accordingly, we will select the option. Recent internal reports have identified the following issue. So what has been identified? Spending on policing activities has increased, but there is limited visibility over whether this represents a good value or not. So that is whether it is representing a good value or not. Some incidents are taking very long to resolve. Good value is economy, right? Resolution is efficiency. Because efficiency means what? How quickly are you able to solve that question? So which is efficiency? Leading to concerns about delays in service delivery. Despite operational improvements, public trust in police remains a key concern for senior management. So public operations, that means public trust in police So that's an outcome. Outcome is effectiveness. Effectiveness always talks about output. Okay. Now, what is the question asking us? Which of the following options correctly clarify these measures? Let's read them. Option number one, average cost of protective equipment. I think this is very clear. Cost is always economy. So first point, economy is correct. Now here, do I have anywhere the cost? Yes. So my answer can be between option 1 and 4. So what I did, I cancelled out 2 and 3 because my option that I need is not there. So this is the obvious wrong answers that I have just deselected. Now let's go to the second one. Percentage of incidents resolved within 48 hours, and here it says percentage of residents reporting confidence. Resolution is not the outcome. Resolution is how you're doing your work. So that is efficiency. The more the case is resolved, the more is the efficiency. So here I will go with option 1 because efficiency is resolution. Third, percentage of residents reporting confidence, that's the outcome. Because if your efficiency levels are high, you're solving more cases, your residents will be more confident in you. So the option 1 is the correct answer. Okay, stick to your basics. Last of section E questions, and then we will do section B, 3 case studies. Okay, so quickly let's do section A question, the last one. A company makes 2 products, X and Y, okay, and which are sold in the constant ratio of 1:4. Now, product X has a selling price of 9.5 and CS ratio of 0.5. Product Y has a price of 7 and a CS ratio of 0.7. For the upcoming quarter, budgeted sales are 20,000 in total. The fixed cost are 75,000, and you have to calculate that what is, okay, and you have to calculate that what is the break-even point in sales, in revenue actually. So that's pretty easy. You have sales ratio, get the contribution, get the sales, multiply it with the mix, which is 1:4 given to you. Get the total contribution, total sales, get the revised weighted average CS ratio, and then divide it by the fixed cost and get the break-even point. And you've got total break-even point in revenue, so you don't need even the individual break-even revenues. Okay, let's do it here. So I will get the selling price here. So here I have 2 products, A and B. Selling price, and what is given to you here? Just a minute. Selling price is 9.5 for product X, and for product Y is 7. 9.5 and 7, and CS ratio is 0.5 and 0.7. 9.5 and 7, 0.5 and 0.7. Okay. And so selling price is given to you. CS ratio is given to you. Let's calculate the contribution per. Okay. This is not contribution. This is CS ratio. Okay. Now let's calculate contribution. So how will you calculate? You know, contribution by sales is equal to the CS ratio. So if you know your selling price, if you know your CS ratio, multiply it and get the contribution. So contribution is 9.5 multiplied by 0.5, which is 4.75. And here your contribution will be 7 into 0.7, which is 4.9. Okay, now you have got the selling price, you have got the contribution, and multiply it with the weights and get the weighted average contribution. Even you don't need units. So weights are 1 and 4. Okay, now get the weighted selling price and weighted contribution. Okay, so 9.5 into 1 will be 9.5. This is 4.75. 7 into 4 will be 28. You add it. And 4.9 into 4 will be, 4.9 is the contribution. Multiplied by 4 will be 19.6. Get the totals. So 9.5 plus 28 will be 37.5. And here weighted contribution will be 4.75 plus 19.6. That gives me 24.35. Now you've got the weighted average selling price, and weighted contribution. So get the weighted average CS ratio. So weighted average CS ratio will be contribution is 24.35 divided by 37.5. So that will be 0.65. Okay, 0.65. Now you can get the break even revenue. So break even revenue will be, what is the fixed cost? Let's calculate. Let's see. Your fixed cost is 75,000. So I will have 70. Now you will have always be looking for the nearest answer. Why? Because there are decimals involved. So you may not get the correct answer, but we will look at the nearest answer. Okay. Now, so here I have 75,000 divided by 0.65. So that will be, it's approximately 115,385 that I am getting. 115,385. Now let's see which is the nearest answer for 115,385. Now when I look here, I find 115,503. So I will go ahead with this. In the simplest way, I've showed you how to calculate break-even revenue without going into any complex calculations. And you can use this approach to do any question that you are solving with a section A, B, C. Okay? Right. So we'll go to the next one. Now we are done with section A, all questions people. Now I am doing section B, case study. So we will discuss how to read the cases and how to solve the questions. So let's quickly do it. Now, here I am doing one case study on the sales. Okay, these are variances. How you should be doing a section B case study. First, see what is the question requirement. Why? Because a case study has 5 different questions content. And if you read the case study once, for all 5 questions, you'll have to read it again and again and again. Instead, if I read the first question, then once I get my first question data, I will stop reading there. And from that point, I will start reading for the second one. So this is a phased reading approach that we will follow that will help you in saving your time that you may waste on unnecessary reading the same content again and again. Got it? So let's see the requirement here. What is the total sales mix contribution variance? Okay. Now, sales mix contribution variance. That means what I need for sales mix variances. I need actual quantity in actual mix, actual quantity in budgeted mix. That's all. Difference multiplied with sale contribution per unit and get the answer. Okay. So I just need these 3 information where I get it in the question and I will stop there. Jada Company is a business that produces high quality acoustic guitars. They offer 3 models, the student, the performer and the master, which meet the needs of beginner to professional musicians. Jada Company prides itself on the high quality of its workmanship and only uses the best raw materials. The sales manager at Jada Company is responsible for marketing and selling all the 3 models, and the production manager is responsible for all aspects of production and quality. The procurement manager is responsible for purchasing raw materials and managing supplier relationships. The company operates a JIT environment and holds little or no inventory, which is a basic assumption that we carry for variances. Budgeted and actual information for the previous quarter are given to you. You have been given budgeted price, budgeted variable cost, budgeted units, actual price and actual variable cost. I don't need actual price and variable cost. I will take budgeted price and budgeted variable cost, reduce it and get the budgeted contribution. Budgeted units are given to me for calculation of the mix, right? Now actual quantity I need. Additional information from the cost card about the use of a spruce, a particular type of wood for the student model, and actual results for the previous quarter are given to you. Spruce, let's just leave for a minute, but I need actual quantity, right, to get the answer done. These are the units given to you, so I assume that these are actual units only, because there is nothing else given here. Let me see. Okay, let's start doing the calculations. I've got the budgeted contribution that we can calculate. If we have the units, we multiply it and get the values, right? So I will take this. Is oh, so sorry, there is data given that we missed out. Actual units is given to you and budgeted units are also given to you. Budgeted units are given to you for calculation of budgeted mix. Okay, so let's draw down the table. How would you draw the table? I will tell you the most easiest way that you can draw the table. See, you require three data. So first step, calculate budgeted contribution per unit, then get the budgeted units. Okay, this is the three models, right? Student, performer, and master. And then get the actual units. You just need these three data and your mixed variance will be prepared. So first step, calculate these three data. What is the budgeted contribution per unit? I will take my any paper with you so that you can just write down there. But anyways, we can do it. So I have 175 is the price less variable cost 120. I will write it here, 175, 120, and the next one also. 175 less 120, then it is 490 less 490 less 280, 700 less 380. Okay, let's get the figures. So 175 less 20 is 55, 490 minus 280 is 210, 700 minus 380 is 320. You got the budgeted contribution per unit, now get the budgeted units. So budgeted units are already given to you, actual units are given to you, just copy them. So which is here 410, 246 and 164. 410, 246 and 164. Always get the data at one place so that when you're calculating, you don't have to look at the question again and again. And what is the actual data? Actual data is 516, 215 and 129. Okay, we have got this. Now let's first get the total of actual units. 516 plus 215 plus 129, which is 860. And budgeted data is 410 plus 246 plus 164, which is 820. So budgeted is less. Now we have to just recalculate the budgeted units in the actual mix. Okay. Now let's calculate it. So how do you calculate the mix variance? SPM. First you will take actual quantity in actual mix, then actual quantity in budgeted mix, get the variance, multiply it with standard contribution per unit, and then you will get the variance in dollars. Okay. So this is how you will get it. Okay, now let's calculate. So actual quantity in the actual mix is given to you 516, 215 and 129. Total is 860 and you know in mix variance total will remain same. Now just calculate the proportionate value. So you will calculate 410 divided by 410, that is the budgeted mix, 410 divided by 820 multiplied by 860. I get here 430. Likewise, do the next one, 246 divided by 820 multiplied by 860, and I get here 258. The third one, 164 divided by 820 and multiplied with 860, and I get here 172. Just verify the total. 860. Both totals are matching, just get the difference. 516 less 30 will be 86. It's a positive variance because it's a sales variance, right? So actually we are selling more. Then 215 less 258, it's a negative variance, which is around 8 minus 5, 343. Next will also be 43 adverse. Why? Because in a mixed variance, it balances out. So 12 minus 9, 3, and 6 minus 2, 4. Yes. Okay. Standard contribution per unit, we have already calculated 55, 210, and 320. Now you multiply it. So 86 into 55 is 4730, favorable variance. 210 into 43 is 9030, adverse variance. And then we have 320 multiplied by 43 is 13760, adverse variance. So of course your variance is going to be adverse only. It is 18060, adverse variance. Correct? Got it? Simple calculation with a simple tip. You can use it for any variance that you calculate. First make the columns, and then in section C also, if you are doing, make the columns and apply the formulas, and you will never have mistake. Got it? Okay. Let's move on to the next one now. So we have 18,060, adverse variance. Be very careful with adverse and favorable. The next one is in line with this only. What is the sales quantity? What is the sales quantity contribution variance? Almost the same data, just that we need budgeted quantity and budgeted mix, which is also given to us. Right? So just look here. With the same data, I can make the next variance. So here my next variance will be sales quantity. What is it? Sales quantity contribution variance. So here the same formulas but with a difference. So here again I will take SPM. First I will take actual quantity in standard mix, budgeted quantity in standard mix, variance, standard contribution, and then get the variance total. Data is all there. I don't need to calculate again. Every data we have put it in the column, right? Same data I will use. So now here actual quantity in the standard mix or budgeted mix were already calculated. 430, 258 and 172, and it is 860. And here it was 820. Figure is already given to you. Use the same data, which is 410, 246 and 164. I'm using this data, right? This is budgeted quantity in standard mix. Get the variance and multiply with standard contribution, same 55, 210 and 320. Okay, let's fill in the table. So what is the variance here? 20, it is positive. And 258 minus 46 is 12, again positive. And here 8, positive. Multiply it and get your answer. 55 into 20 is 11, right? 1100. 210 into 12 is 2520. And 320 multiplied by 8 is 2560. Okay, 2560 plus 2520 plus 1100. 6180, favorable variance. One step answer and only 30 seconds. So with just these three columns that you prepared in one table, you are easily solving the two variances. Okay, so make sure that you understand this correctly. Now here my answer is 6180, favorable variance. And the question only says favorable, so we don't need to type it. We just need to type the figure 6180. Let's go to the next one. Indicate whether each of the following statements regarding the student model, they are true or false. So just see, I even did not read spruce, but I'm able to handle these questions. Okay, so always do a selective reading so that you are saving on your time. Now, indicate whether each of the following statements regarding the student model are true or false. The procurement manager correctly asserts that inflation was the only cause of the overspending on spruce. So I have to see the spruce factor now. Additional information, let's go here. Additional information from the cost card about the use of spruce, a particular type of wood for the student model, and actual results are given. Standard cost per unit is given to you here. Actual quantity and actual spend is given to you. Okay, then further it says the procurement manager has been informed that he will not receive a bonus for the quarter. He thinks this is unfair because the market price of spruce increased by 2%. So 2% is by inflation. But what about the other factors? See here the actual spend is 39,800. 79.8 is the standard cost per unit multiplied by the actual units will be 133 multiplied by 79.8. It gives me 10613 and multiplied by the number of units. No, I'm so sorry. 79.8 multiplied by the number of units. Number of units were 860, right? So multiplied by 860, I get here wait. In this question, an additional cost card about the use of from the cost card is this is only for the student model. Only for the student. So student model actual units are 516, right? So why I'm checking it? I'm just checking what is the actual units for the student model. 516. Now this, because how do we calculate the budgeted cost? Budgeted cost per unit multiplied with total actual units. So actual units for student model is 516. Budgeted cost per unit is 79.8 multiplied and I get here 41176, but the actual cost is 39,800. Just see what is the increase. Increase is 13768.76.8 divided by the cost 39,800. So here I'm not getting 2%, I'm getting more than this, right? I'm getting more than this the increase. So this increase is therefore not only related to inflation, but it is related to the manager's efforts as well. So hence this statement is false. Next, the production manager used less spruce than expected. So let's see this. Did he use less spruce than expected? As per the expectation, he should have used one, as per actuals, he has used 133 square meters. But as per the expectations, he should have used how much? 516 units. Multiplied by 0.8 square meter. 0.28. Yeah, so as per the budget, he should have used 144.5 square meters. How? See here the standard cost card says no that one unit requires 0.28 square meter. And it's only relating to student model. Student model actually requires 516 units. So as per this, as per standard, they should have used 144 square meters, but they have used 133 square meters. So which is a correct statement. Hence I will select true and it is correct. Let's go to the next one. What is the operational market price variance for spruce? Okay, so you can see here a lot of variance calculations that we are doing. Let's calculate it. Operational market price variance. How do we calculate market price variance? We take the difference between budgeted and actual price and multiply it with actual quantity of material. Here actual quantity of material is 133. Since it is operational, I will take the difference between revised price and actual price. Got it? Now what is the revised price given here? There is a 2% inflation. So we have to add it on the price and get the revised price. The price was 285 meter. Now add 2%. Add 2%, you get 290.7. So simple 290.7 multiplied with 133, the actual square meters. which gives me 38663.1. Now this is the revised budgeted cost less actual cost is 39,300, 39,800. So I get here, I will do it here, don't worry. Right, so here when I'm doing, first step is for operational price variance, get the revised cost. That will be 285 is the normal cost and there is a 2% increase. So multiplied with 102% and multiplied with 133 the actual meter. Now reduce from it the actual cost, which is given to you here 39,800, right? 39,800. Okay, now get the cost here. So you will get the variance. So here 285 multiplied by 102% and multiplied by 133, I get here 38663. You reduce it and you will get a variance of 1137. Now it is an adverse or a favorable variance. It is a adverse variance. Why? Because the actual cost is more. So it is 1137 adverse variance. Now let's just select the answer 1137 adverse variance. Done? Clear? I'm sure this is helping you revise your variances also. Let's go to the last one that says also in the following quarter, the market for acoustic guitars, it increased by 4% and Jada company held a bigger position in the market. The sales manager said that this was due to the promotion of their high quality production which attracted new customers. The promotion of Jada's high quality production is a likely cause of their favorable market size variance. Do you think it is true or false? The favorable market share variance can be attributed to the actions of the sales manager. Now guys, what is the market size variance when it is relating to planning variances? Correct? Planning part. Operational part is the market share variance. Promotion of Jada's high quality production. So production is an internal matter. Internal matter will relate to market share and not market size. So first statement is wrong. Second statement, the favorable market share variance can be attributed to the actions of sales manager, which is true because it is internal actions. So absolutely correct. The answer is only 2. Okay, so what was the keyword in the first one? The internal part, production. So just look for the correct keywords like I've been telling you repeatedly. So we are done with the first case study. Let's go to the second case study. Second case study is very interesting. It's about throughput. Okay, it's about throughput. So I think we can quickly have a look here on. Let's do a question here. Okay, let's do this question. So using the throughput accounting, I'm looking at the question requirement first, right? Because accordingly that much only I will read and I will be doing the calculations. Using throughput accounting principle, rank the products in the order in which they should be produced and sold to maximize profit. So what you have to do, get the throughput per unit, then get the throughput per scarce resource and rank them. That's all you have to do in the first question. Okay, let's look at the question. Freya company is an automotive, this is only this much, thank God. Freya company is an automotive company that manufactures wiring harnesses, that is bundles of prepared cables installed in the cars. Freya's main customer is a large automobile manufacturer and the industry is mature and highly competitive. Demand exceeds Freya's capacity and they hold little inventory. Freya's workforce is on guaranteed hourly contract. The factory is organized into identical production lines and all products they pass through 4 manual stages listed below. Production times are shown in partial hours, that is 0.3 is 30% of 1 hour, which makes sense. Product XYZ, production stage, soldering, cutting, taping, preparation for transport is given to you. First step is you have to identify which is a scarce resource you. Product prices, cost and contributions are given to you. Annual factory overheads are also given to you, which is not including labor cost. And 2900 labor hours, the total labor hours are also given to you for calculating TPAR probably. The Factory is open for 50 hours a week, and the okay, so 2900 labor hours per week multiplied by 50 will give you annual labor hours, and total labor cost is 1160,000 annually. Okay, now what is the scarce resource here? So let's find it out. So here I have total 2900 labor hours in a week only. So let's do the calculations now. Cutting, stripping, and you do multiply it with the hours and just see which is the scarce resource here. Okay. Now the question is not giving you anything, right? So cutting and stripping will take 0.25, and here the direct labor hour is okay. Let's do the calculations. Even we can do it on calculators. Okay, now let's check for each category whether it's a scarce resource or not. So here we have X, Y, and Z. X is requiring 0.25, that is 25% in 1 hour. Y is requiring 22% in 1 hour. And Z is requiring 20% in 1 hour. So just, I'm telling you, very, very easy way to do it. Just see the overall calculation wise, which product is requiring more time. So if you see, the cutting and stripping is actually requiring 25 plus 22 plus 20. That is 67, you can say, when I add it, it's 0.25 plus 0.22 plus 0.2 plus 0.20. So that is 0.67 hours. You can say that, right? 0.67 multiplied with 1 hour they require. Soldering is requiring 0.45 plus 0.4 plus 0.38. That's requiring a lot of time. 1.23, more than 1 hour they require. More than 1 hour. Right? Tapering is also requiring 0.3 plus 0.27 plus 0.25. That is also less than 1 hour. So if you add all this, see, I don't have data which is there. It is not giving me any units, any hours. So how will I calculate? I am calculating it on the concept that these are requiring partially hours. So I'm just checking which product is requiring the most hours. So here if you see, the production stage soldering is requiring the most hours. So it is my scarce. It is the one which is my bottleneck here, this production stage, right? Okay, simple way to find out. Okay, Subhash, yes, your target for mock should be 70 plus at least. Okay, make this that you are keeping this target as. Okay, let's quickly do the rankings. So that's pretty easy. Price less direct material will get you throughput per unit. Divide by the soldering data which is given to you 0.45, 0.4 and 0.38, and you will get throughput per hour. So let's quickly do it here. So here I have three products X, Y and Z. I will quickly calculate what is throughput per unit. Then I will get soldering time. And then I will get throughput per hour. So I'll do it on calculator and just put it here. Throughput per unit will be 28.5 less 14.1, which is here 14.4, and then let's do it here for every case. 14.4. Next one will be 20 less 20.5. So it is 14.4. 20 less 12.5, which is 7.5. And the third one is, this is 0.45, I remember, right? And the third one is 0.4 and 0.38. 23.75 less 11. It is 12.75. Okay. And let's write down the figures. 0.45, 0.4 and 0.38. Now divide it and get throughput per hour. This is how you are going to, be achieving the correct answer. Okay, Subhash, in section A, you are getting 44. Ideally, you should be getting at least in between 45 to 50. So just increase your levels, okay? Just push it a bit more and try to achieve 50. Now 14.4, so here I am guiding then how to solve. 14.4 divided by 4.45, that gives you 32 here, and here it will be 7.5 divided by zero point 0.4, that gives me 18.75 here, and the third one is 12.75 divided by 0.38, that gives me 33.55 here. Now can we do the ranking? Ranking is number 1, highest throughput, number 2, and number 3. So X is 2, Y is 3, and Z is 1. Accordingly, please do the selection. X is 2. Okay, I'm not able to move. You please select X is 2, Z is 3, Z is 1, and Y is 3. Okay. Ideally, no, Subhash. Ideally, no. Okay, this is a very interesting query that you have raised, but ideally, no, because they are just AI systems. They are not foolproof examiner systems, right? Otherwise, why would we have an examiner and an evaluator at first place? Please get in touch with your faculties, or, just to get it correct evaluation done. Don't use ChatGPT. It is not advisable. Now, second, just have a look at it. That is why I'm doing section A and B questions as a pre-mock. But you can see the level of questions and how we are doing and whether it is really difficult or not. Okay, follow me here. So X is rank 2, Y is 3, and Z is 1. Now let's go to the next one. Assuming the throughput per hour is 32, calculate TPAR. Very easy. Throughput per hour is given to you here in this question, 32. You need the factory cost per hour. Factory cost will be 1740,000 plus 1160,000 labor cost. So 1740 plus 1160, that gives me 2900,000 divided by total labor hours. Total labor hours will be 2900 multiplied by 50, because this is just weekly and we need annually, which is 1450,000, 145,000. So let's do the calculations and let's divide it. So when you divide it, you will get here 2900 divided by, we just calculated, right, 145,000 divided by 145, I get here 20. So 20 is my cost per hour, right? 20 is the cost per hour. Throughput is 32. Now divide 32 by 20 and you get 1.6. So TPAR till one decimal place will be 1.6. Done. Okay, let's go to the next one. Yes, have a look, Subhash, that how we are doing the questions and are you really finding them difficult? As per me, the difficulty level is always very moderate. So you'll have a mix of difficult and easy questions. But difficult is actually not difficult. You have to really see that, just for the keyword, just identify that keyword that will help you solve the question. Okay, and just read the question properly. Now, Freya has decided that to reallocate the workforce between production stage to improve throughput. Which decision will most likely result in the biggest improvement? What is your here the bottleneck? Soldering. So obviously biggest improvement will come when you are allocating your resources towards soldering. Very logical point. Now just see that answer and it is your correct answer. So I can see B point, reallocate transport preparation workers to soldering. Even when I'm not read, even I don't need to read the question also entirely for it. Once your bottleneck is soldering, any elevation of bottleneck will only improve your results, correct? So B is the correct answer. Now let's go to the next one. If both hourly wage rate and direct material cost, they are expected to be higher than the original estimates. Okay, if both are expected to be higher than the original estimates, what would be the impact on following? Throughput contribution per hour. See, if your direct material cost increases, your contribution per hour will reduce, right? because your throughput will reduce. So if throughput reduces, your throughput per hour will reduce. So this is easy. Other factory cost per hour. See, if your hourly wage rate are increasing, right? And so the other factory cost per hour will also increase because your wages are increasing, so factory cost will also increase. Simple. Throughput accounting ratio will decrease or increase. See, your denominator is increasing and your numerator is decreasing. So what will this lead to? TPAR being reduced. Correct? Because your TP throughput is reducing and your denominator increases. See, when your denominator increases, your ratio decreases. Correct? So here also it is decreasing only. Very simple, both are negative factors. So you don't need always every calculation to be done, just like logically, and I was remembering my formula. Same ways you also remember your formula. Next one. Which of the statements about throughput accounting is not true? The optimum production of the bottleneck activity determines the production schedule of the non-bottleneck activities. This is true. This is true. Because everything will depend upon the bottleneck activities. So the optimum production of bottleneck activity will determine for non-bottleneck activities, which is true. It concentrates on the long term. It concentrates on the long term when a business has a fixed supply of resources and operating expenses are largely fixed. Okay, it concentrates on the long term, which is wrong. Throughput is a short-term accounting principle. I mean, short-term costing methodologies, right? We have already always read it. So one keyword is wrong here. Just look it. It is looking difficult. No. The moment you know it is short-term, this is wrong. So I don't need to read further. It is wrong statement. Okay. Anyways, let's read further. Improving productivity and bottleneck resource will lead to an improvement in TPR. True. Conversion costs are considered fixed and included in other factory costs. True. So B is wrong. Okay. Now, we have done 2 case studies, approximately 10 section B questions. We have done section A questions 15. So, I'm sure after we have done these 25 questions, you are having a super high level of confidence and you're very familiar now the kind of exam paper that you will be receiving in your exams. I'm sure by the end of this you are completely in in line with me that the paper level is moderate. It is not at all difficult as we always think. So now what you have to do is this 3rd case study you will try it yourself as a homework part, because we should always have something in homework that will give us push towards achieving the best results. Section C also you please do. If you find any difficulties there, then I have a lot of videos uploaded on section C. Have a look at it. The last June 2026 also section C we have solved in the class. Kindly have a look at those videos which is there in my playlist. And to help you achieve more high marks, I'm already started with the test series which is completely free, a 3-paper test series for 100% of section A, B and C. All those who are interested for the second mock, because we are done with the first test paper and many students benefited from it, from the personal feedbacks also that I shared there, again at no cost. If you are interested, then the link is there in my description box. Join my Telegram channel and all updates are there on it. Plus the summary notes, a lot of other PM content is also there on the platform. So please join the Telegram channel, and before you go, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video. Share it among your friends if you think that this was really helpful video. Thank you so much guys. See you soon for the next live session and lot of other contents which are going to be uploaded on my channel. Keep following it. All the best. Give your best for the exams and see you soon. Bye bye. Logging off from CA Anshu Badia. Thank you.